Hey friends, come with us on our honeymoon to Thailand. In this video, we're taking you along to our journey from Toronto to Thailand and back. From long-haul flights to first impressions and everything in between, get ready for a big adventure. Before taking off, we spent, unfortunately, a lot of our time at the Toronto Pearson airport, where we found this really cool sound sculpture. If you stand on one end and someone is on the other, you can hear each other perfectly, like they're right next to you. A fun little feature, but unfortunately, Pearson itself isn't our favorite airport. Air Canada hit us with some pretty frustrating delays, so we tried to make the most of it by grabbing some drinks and food. Mike got the Naughty Neighbor Pale Ale from Nickelbrook, and I went for a double rye and ginger. For food, Mike had a breakfast burger from Custom Built Burgers. Not bad, not great, just pretty standard. I got a caprese panini from La Place, which was very underwhelming. It seriously lacked flavor, and I had to load it with salt and pepper just to enjoy it. And like any airport, the prices were ridiculous. Overpriced drinks, basic food that cost way more than it should, just the usual airport experience. And to top it off, our massive delay meant less time to explore Narita Airport in Japan, our first connecting flight. Landing in Japan was such a cool experience. It didn't exactly start off as the most relaxing though. We had a hard time figuring out where we were going. Obviously, we knew we'd be navigating a language barrier in a Japanese-speaking country, and we tried our best to prepare, but it was trickier than we expected and we ended up pretty lost. Thankfully, a kind airport staff member helped guide us through the terminal and got us to the right bus for our connecting flight. She was an absolute lifesaver. Unfortunately, because of our delay back in Toronto, a lot of the shops and restaurants had already closed by the time we arrived. We would have loved to explore more of this airport's food and stores, but instead we just grabbed a few snacks from a nearby convenience store before heading to our next connecting flight to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The in-flight safety video caught us off guard. Usually they're pretty standard, but this one was super creative and pretty funny. Definitely made us pay attention more than usual. Also, we have to mention how amazing the flight attendants were on both of these flights so far. They were so kind and made sure my food restrictions were taken care of, and when they found out it was our honeymoon, they went out of their way to make us feel so special. Unfortunately, our landing times just didn't work in our favor when it came to exploring. We landed in Malaysia at around 4 a.m., and one of the things we were really hoping to check out was the famous Jungle Boardwalk. But of course, it wasn't open that early. We could kind of see through the windows, but it was so dark that we couldn't really admire the beautiful nature that they have right in the middle of the airport. With the time zone change messing with us, we were pretty starving. Our bodies were still on Toronto time, so at that point, any kind of meal would have hit the spot. One thing we really appreciated about this airport was how many food options were available, even at that hour. And it was actually tough deciding where to eat because there were so many things to choose from. We also loved how the restaurants had displays of their meals outside. It made it so much easier to see what each place had to offer. After looking around for a bit, we finally decided to eat at Sarai. This place definitely lived up to its promise of quick service. Our server was fantastic and we couldn't get over how fast he was. For our drink, we decided to try bandung, which is also known as rose syrup drink. It's typically made with rose syrup, condensed or evaporated milk, and sometimes a bit of soda water, which gives it that pinkish sweet and creamy taste. We absolutely loved it. Honestly, we regret not getting one each. We could have easily downed one on our own. For our meals, I went with the mee goreng mama. I apologize if I pronounce any of this incorrectly. I'm doing my best. Mee goreng means fried noodles in Malay language, and this dish came with stir-fried yellow noodles, tofu, bean curd, spring onions, and egg. It was absolutely phenomenal and super affordable. This really hit the spot, especially with that nice little kick that it had. Mike got the Lassi Lame Ayam Berempah. I really hope I did that justice. Which is spiced fried chicken, coconut, and bandan rice served with a signature sambal, a hard-boiled egg, and cucumber. Mike loved this.
I did.
I had to try a bite, obviously skipping the chicken, and thought it was fantastic. Once again, super affordable too. This was a great introduction to Malaysian food, and honestly, it left us wanting more. We definitely have Malaysia on our bucket list to visit again, because while we were here, technically, we didn't really get to leave the airport and experience the country fully, so we don't really count it. Landing in Phuket, Thailand was hands down one of the best moments of our lives, obviously aside from our wedding day. We had the absolute best time here and made so many amazing memories. Seriously, there are so many videos to come from this part of this trip, so stay tuned, you won't want to miss them. You won't see any clips from the Phuket airport with our meals because even though we had some incredible meals while we were in Thailand, the airport didn't really have much to offer before passing through customs. They had this odd rule where you couldn't pass through customs before closer to your flight, which was a bit of a bummer. By the time we finally made it through, there were more food options to choose from, but we had already settled for some pretty underwhelming food and just had to suck it up and wait until we got to Turkey for something better. While we were in Phuket, we met some people from New Jersey who introduced us to a cool discovery about connecting flights. If your layover is long enough, many airports offer free tours with your ticket. This totally made our 11-hour layover worth it, as we got to leave the airport, get a Turkey stamp in our passports, and hop onto a bus to explore Istanbul. The tour ran from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and we got to see so many incredible parts of Istanbul, from historic mosques to learning tons of Turkish history. We also stopped for breakfast at Dolmabahce Cafeteria. I'm trying my best here with pronunciation, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. This is where we tried simit, a Turkish pastry, paired with cream cheese and Nutella. It was such a beautiful spot to soak in the scenery by the Black Sea, watching birds, jellyfish, and other aquatic life. The sun was shining and the breeze felt amazing. Perfect for stretching our legs after a long, sleepless flight. So let's talk a bit about simit. It tasted like a big, soft pretzel, but without all the salt. And a bit more denser, almost like a bagel. So it's kind of like a pretzel bagel fusion. And we both really enjoyed it. It was a nice little treat to kick off the morning. After that, we had some black tea and some baklava, which our server recommended. We loved the all-green baklava the most, though we can't remember the name of each one since they were all pretty similar, just prepared a little differently. After breakfast, we hopped back on the bus and continued exploring more of Turkey. Along the way, we got a nice view of both the inside and outside of the arena where the BJK football club plays. It was really cool to see such a major part of Turkey's sports culture up close. Our tour guide was amazing. We learned so much, including why there were so many Turkish flags everywhere. Turns out, we were there right around Republic Day, a major celebration in Turkey. After taking in more incredible sights and history, we made a stop at the Galata Bridge to soak in the stunning views of the historical peninsula. This spot was extra special because it gave us a view of both sides of Turkey, the European side and the Asian side. Such a surreal experience. This was actually both of our first time being in Europe, so we were really glad we got to step outside the airport and experience a bit of Turkey. After stopping at the Galata Bridge, we got back on the bus and headed back to the airport, feeling so grateful for this experience. We spotted Salt Bay's restaurant, which gave us a bit of a laugh, but we were just looking for something quick to eat before our next flight. We ended up with Sbarro pizza and paired it with Efes Pilsen beer, a combo that really reminded us that our next stop was North America. Nothing fancy, just back to that classic airport food vibe. The pizza was good, but the beer was just okay. Now, we're sad to be leaving, but as always, excited to get home to our dog. This trip really took a toll on me. Jet lag hit me so hard, it felt like it lasted more than a week. But we're so grateful for this experience. We made so many amazing memories, and despite the long layovers, we really appreciated getting to touch down in a new place each time and experience a little bit of somewhere new wherever we went.
Ali, Mommy is coming home. Where are they? They're coming home. Yeah, they're gonna come home. Mommy is coming home. Yes, Mommy's coming home.
That's it for our whirlwind adventure. From Toronto to Thailand, Malaysia, Turkey, and beyond. We had an unforgettable time exploring new places and trying new things. Thanks for coming along. Stay tuned for more of our Thailand adventures. There's so much more to come.